Hi everybody. I want to talk very quickly about a resource that we've produced for the abolitionist movement and that we are going to be selling or making available through AHA Gear, the abortion abolitionist resource store that we've sort of put together and run to the best of our ability to help abolitionists represent themselves and explain themselves to the culture at large. And that is, which you may have seen on our Facebook page, but this pamphlet that we've produced. Basically, it's called Every Age Has Its Evil, Every Age Has Its Abolitionist. And it's a 24-page, full-color, nice quality pamphlet that lays out what it is to be an abolitionist, why we call ourselves abolitionists, how we're different from pro-lifers, what our main tenets are, what the modes of abolitionism are, and sort of some of the arguments and some of the plan of what we're going to do, such as breaking down the symbol and how we're planning to use it to seed the culture and basically make way for a true abolitionist movement against abortion. The reason we want this to be out there is because, let's face it, AHA, Abolish Human Abortion, is kind of known for, speaking the truth pretty boldly against pro-aborts and pro-choicers of all kinds. And we're also known for being somewhat critical of standard pro-life ideology, strategies, methods, tactics, and so on and so forth. And, we don't like to call ourselves pro-lifers, and that's not just because we're trying to hedge out a little space for us in the world. It's because we just we think we are abolitionists. We see in ourselves the same sorts of impulses and ideas of earlier abolitionists from earlier ages. And to be quite frank, in the pamphlet, we can lay it out in such a way that you can read it and consider it. So you can see the scriptural justifications for abolitionism. You can read about, why we call ourselves abolitionists instead of pro-lifers, and why we don't just call ourselves Christians. Well, we think that Christians in an age like ours that, supports child sacrifice, and most people just blindly go back and forth to church and vote against it every 4 years or write a check to a crisis pregnancy center and all that. Well, they call themselves Christians. What's different between those Christians and us Christians? Well, we're abolitionists. And so, you get information about the first abolitionists. You get information about the British abolitionists, the American abolitionists. It's not just writing. There's a lot of images and quotes and arguments, but primarily just an outlining of who we are, what we believe, what are some of the arguments, what are some of the ideas, but, importantly, why we call it sin. What are the 5 tenets of abolitionism? What are the modes of abolitionism? Why do we, embrace being called fanatics? Anyway, it's a great little pamphlet. It tells you who we are, what we're planning to do. And I think we're going to make them available on the AHA Gear store. They're just $2.50 a piece. We wish we could just send them for free, but we spent a few grand printing them, so we'd like to recuperate the cost. But you can order them in sets of 1, 5, 10, 20, 50, and hopefully they're affordable enough for you guys. But essentially, please check out AHA Gear. We're always going to be putting more and more things on there. We're not a t-shirt store like some of the critics say, and we're not anti-Catholic, even though we're completely unashamed to tell you exactly what we believe about everything we believe. That's why we write it down. So you don't have to go to any of the anti-AHA sites to see what it is that we believe. We put it in there. Yeah. There's a page in there about why we're not pro-lifers. And there's a page in there why we're unashamed of the fact that we're evangelical Protestants. But we love you all. If you're interested in knowing more about AHA and the abolitionist movement and what we're trying to rehabilitate and reignite in this country, pick up some pamphlets. Also be a good thing to distribute to your abolitionist society. Email any questions, concerns, comments, or cuss words to to abolishhumanabortion@gmail.com. Thanks, you guys.